This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by JEMS Art Studio. JEMS Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find JEMS Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/JEMS Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you. Now to go over some 80's movies that can't be remade today. Bobby Quarters has got some stuff he wants to bring up.
So, first of all, Bob, you would agree with me that comedy is subjective, right?
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. Now, with comedy being subjective, obviously some things age like wine over time and really great, and even funnier as time goes on. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, some things really don't age really well at all and are just downright awful and offensive. And with today's world of comedy especially, it's under a lot of scrutiny, and, a lot of people are finding things wrong with it or things in past features and everything. But at the same time, Big Hollywood wants to keep remaking a bunch of stuff from the time. Oh. So I kind of put together a little short list of about some 80's movies that were just really raunchy comedies for the time, but a lot of the jokes are horribly dated, and they just really don't age so well. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the list and work my way to number 1. Number 4 and Bob, feel free if you want to add anything, chime in.
All right.
Number 4, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yeah, troubles of high school. That's still a trope that can still definitely be explored today. And talking about all these different kids that all go to the same school, a lot of it still works today, and a lot of it still can be, but one of the main characters in the film, I believe she was played by, why am I drawing a blank on the actress right now? I think her name was Elizabeth Shue. A character in the movie gets pregnant, teen pregnancy. Okay, that's still something that carries weight. MTV has a very successful series about that, so still a little touchy, but still, can still be dealt with in a film. Now, a teen getting an abortion, I don't know about that. I feel that's... No, not against abortion or anything. Like, they show her going to the clinic and as much of the procedure as they could show in a PG-13 film at the time.
Was that PG-13? I thought that was R.
No, you're right. R, yeah. It was R, yeah.
Okay.
So they still show as much of it as they can for an R movie. Which I still kind of think like, wow, they're actually, they're doing this. And it had obviously been a while since I had watched it. I think I watched it when I was in high school. But there's a lot of it I don't remember. And the controversy with, I guess one issue of it that I had, and it's just a character issue. A character in there who knocked that girl up, agreed to help her pay for half of it, agreed to give her a ride, completely ghosted her. And it's like, wow. I suddenly remember the first time I watched this movie, I didn't like this guy the first time I saw him, and now I remember why I didn't like this guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
but I mean,
I'm not so sure.
There's also a lot of fun stuff that, I personally... Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I don't know how... I think that's okay, because Season 1, Jessica Jones, I don't know if you've seen that. That actually deals with an abortion as well. Okay. I think it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, so maybe I'm misremembering how it's handled. But I think it could get away with it.
Was Jessica Jones a 15-year-old high school student?
No, but I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad... It's a trick... Now,
it's tough.
I would say now that more I think about, I could see an argument as to why it won't be remade is because if it gets remade, it's going to be a corporate thing, and they're not going to want to have it corporate.
And they won't touch it because they'll have a bajillion sponsors behind it.
Yes.
And, you can't sell a Happy Meal of that.
Well, that'd be a great toy. It's a ketchup dispenser.
It's a collectible. It's mint, still in package.
Ooh.
But I mean, there is some great stuff. Like when the token stoner kid, played by Sean Penn, masterfully, he steals this movie. He steals the the big football star quarterback guy, played by Forrest Whitaker. He steals his hot rod car. I think it's a Pontiac or some muscle car of the 80s. Goes joyriding with his brother, and then famously said, "People on lewds should not drive." And then proceeds to crash the car. And then just make it look like their rival, who the team is playing that week, did it. And hey, maybe a little GTA, just to throw a football game. In that case, a win's a win.
Yeah.
Yes. But moving on. Caddyshack. Now, okay, this is one that I kind of found some stuff that would work really well today, and some stuff that they could probably omit and not really leave in, though the purpose of those jokes were to establish that, the higher class people, the rich people, were just pieces of shit. Now, a movie about, slobs and lower class people knocking the higher class down a peg or two, that could resonate very well today. Very well today. Some of the jokes from the people in the country club, their racist jokes, probably could go without. Like when the lead guy, Judge Smails, who was played by Ted Knight, he stops a priest and he asks, "Did you hear about the priest, the rabbi, and the colored boy who got into heaven?" Right after he asked a porter who was working there, who happened to be an African-American male, to shine his shoes. Then he just proceeded to really burn the crap out of his shoes.
Yes.
As one should, because a lot of it established that, these people are garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I see. Yeah. I see why that won't get remade, because the people who would be, the powerful would be the people behind this movie, so they won't want to do that.
Yeah.
That being said, I love that aspect of the movie, because it kind of shows what piece of crap these people are.
Yeah, even as far as, the toast for his boat. I think I vaguely remember all of it. It's easy to grin when your ship sets in and you've got the stock market beat, but the man worthwhile is the man who can smile, whose pants aren't too tight in the seat. God, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Funny though, and also little side note though, half of the behind the scenes of Caddyshack are just as wild as the movie.
Yeah, that movie, I believe it was Harold Ramis's first movie.
It was one of his first,
and so he had very little. He had very little experience directing.
And it was also written by a team of National Lampoon writers, some of the same writers who wrote Animal House, Doug Kenny included.
Yes.
And Doug Kenny was a master who died way before his time, and weird circumstances.
Well, the weird thing also is, he wrote it, but there was so much of that movie that was also just improv.
Yeah,
like Bill Murray's shtick was largely
improv. Like the whole Cinderella.
Which you can tell.
Whole Cinderella story.
Yes.
That was just him fucking around. And Harold's like, "Let's record this. This is great." And I know
the Bill Murray's shtick in that movie is great.
That whole scene between Bill and Chevy also was improvised completely. Yeah. Nothing of that was scripted. It was all just off the cuff. And I believe also that is the first time that the two of them were ever in the same room together since Bill took the role or his spot on SNL.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they noticed in the script that there was no scenes with those two together. And they're like, we want to put together a scene, but we don't have anything written, so they just let them do their thing. Yeah.
And Bill,
have fun, guys. Do something goofy. Do something.
And Bill was just Bill.
Yes.
All right.
That movie's too much of a classic.
Yeah, that movie is a real classic, and it really pained me to put this on here because I love that movie. I'm a huge Lampoon fan, and even though this isn't under the Lampoon banner, I consider this a National Lampoon movie.
It didn't occur to me it's not under the banner, but yeah, it is kind of has
a lot of those same.
Well, Doug Kinney especially.
Okay. And
Harold Ramis was involved with it. I thought.
Yes, he was.
I don't know.
And a lot. And Ronnie Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Probably just let him do whatever he wanted to because at that point he was like the king of comedy.
Yes. Well, talk about a guy with perfect delivery and timing. Oh my god.
I mean,
like
I would say,
you look at.
Sorry, go ahead.
His jokes on paper are fine, but like his delivery is brilliant.
It is. Like I would say, the only other person who would rival him at that time period would have been Don Rickles, and that's another one who has some great timing. Okay, so let's moving on. We're on number 3. So number 2, Revenge of the Nerds. So yeah, a story about standing up to bullies. Again, that could really work well today. However, there's a lot of stuff that was very common at the time and common in a lot of these movies. Like every movie on this list, I will bring up I have brought up, or at least, if not, a lot of it was just the time and it's how culture was. And obviously, with time, culture evolved. So, the story standing up to bullies, that can work absolutely today. But a lot of the stereotypes, like their depiction of the Lambda member Lamar, a gay black man, that just was horribly stereotyped and doesn't age very well. As well as their other housemate, I think Taji, or not Taji, but the Japanese boy who was there.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I forget the character's name, but yeah, that was.
Fun fact: that actor's American.
Huh. So it's kind of like a short circuit thing.
Yes.
Good.
Well, he's not. He is of Asian descent. It's not 100% short circuit.
Okay. It's not 100% that.
But yes, he like if you actually see him talk, he has a normal accent, or normal American accent. Okay. But in the movies, he also did the same thing in UHF. It's like the super stereotype Asian accent,
like talking
just something
like Mickey Rourke in Breakfast at Tiffany's. Oh, that was not 80s, but that one is pretty bad. But also, other than that, there's also a lot of other stuff that is not appropriate today. Like the whole surveillance. They know the sorority house, panty raid, which I'm sure that shit still goes on campuses. Not the surveillance, but panty raids. I'm sure something equivalent to that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I did live near OSU at one point in my life, and it was too close for comfort for me, mostly just because I work in the morning.
I don't have energy for this.
I don't. I work in the morning, and I don't drink. Nothing about what they're doing appeals to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and along with
a lot of that stuff qualifies as sexual assault now.
No, sexual assault. One thing why this movie, if it were to be remade, they have to cut this out or find a better way to approach it. The whole rape scene.
Yeah. Now,
it may not be, traditional definition of it, but he raped her. And later on in those sequels, that woman became his wife. So some sort of borderline Stockholm syndrome as well.
Nice.
So now after that, I don't know what can get worse than a mistaken identity for sexual intercourse, but number 1 on this list is a legendary raunchy's 80s comedy called Porky's. Oh yes, the quest for losing one's V-card. Luckily, these boys in Florida, they do know a spot just where that could possibly even happen. A place called Porky's that is on the swamp. It's pretty much like the modern day gym or juke joints back in the days of Prohibition. There's gambling, liquor, women, but it's a place that's kind of like in the country, in the rural country. And that's the plot of that movie. But this guy, they go there to try and meet some ladies. It doesn't go so well. He just takes their money and dumps them in the swamp and just, that's it. Messes with these kids. As an adult, yeah, I would mess with some kids if they came out to my house in the middle of the country. I would. But that's just me. But the movie itself, that whole can work. Again, the dialogue in it. Excuse me. A lot of casual racism. A lot of casual racism in it. Now, again, unfortunately, like all these, product of their time. But also there's a lot of like just really gross sexual behavior that I don't think could fly in a cinema today. And mostly just because of standards and the Me Too movement. These guys pulled a lot of kind of cruel pranks on their female classmates. And a lot of them kind of either embarrassing them in a way. Like one student called a place where a girl was working, asked her to get on the intercom and asked if anyone has seen Mike Hunt. Yeah, my friend Michael Hunt.
I don't get it. Oh.
My friend Michael Hunt. Yeah, he goes by Mike. I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love a good prank call.
Yeah.
And that's Bart Simpson classic. Though The Simpson hadn't come out yet, so now we know where Brady got it from.
Those calls to Moe's are all classics.
But I think the big thing of why is the infamous shower room scene. Where these boys, they find a hidden area in the school where they could hide and crawl behind the walls of the girls' locker room in the showers, and they can move some pipes, and it's a perfect peephole for them to see inside. Now, with the high school antics of a movie like this, I'm honestly surprised American Pie didn't do it. They pretty much did the equivalent with a webcam. Only toned down quite a bit.
Yes. Yeah.
But, I mean, some of the pranks in there were really hilarious, like really funny, and, some of it still is really funny, but aside from the casual racism and cringy dialogue, if all that would be omitted, it might be. But again, a lot of that is what the core of what made all of these movies so great, so why even bother?
Yeah. Well, these movies are very much products of the time.
Yes.
But yeah, most of them do have that trope where it's almost like the heroes go out and they check out women naked without their permission. It's like, ooh,
do like a lot
that's
of
not good.
Probably deplorable things, but these are the heroes.
Yeah, that's really, really bad. Like, I think really American Pie was like the last gasp of that, and that was toned down quite a bit.
And as they periodically just went on, they just kind of became more just comedies. Like, I think American Pie 2 was just a straightforward comedy with a little bit of sex jokes.
Yeah, well, they don't broadcast a naked woman. As I recall, they don't broadcast a naked woman. They do walk in on him, and then the naked women mess with them. So it works better if you look at it from that standpoint. It's not being broadcast to whoever has an email.
Yeah.
What, broadcast to Blink-182? Was that the band in that
one?
Yes,
that was, and their monkey.
Okay.
And their monkey.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember the monkey more than Blink-182, but...
But Animal House does this, but Animal House does it weird because there's almost a fantasy aspect to it.
Yeah.
Fast Times does it as well. That's revealed to be completely fantasy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and good old Judge got caught indulging.
Yeah. Nothing.
Doesn't anybody knock anymore?
Yeah, but there's definitely better or worse examples, and for me, I'll admit, I've never been a huge fan of Revenge of the Nerds. I think the premise is actually completely solid.
Yeah.
But, like, in that movie, they do that, and it's almost treated like, yay, we saw the chicks naked, yay! It's like, ooh.
They had it,
that doesn't date well.
On the television in the living room, like...
Yes! It's like, oh my god.
Come on, guys. I think one of them even came down like, you're still watching that?
Yeah. It's like, I see why you guys aren't getting laid.
Yeah. But yes, those are 480s movies that shouldn't be, that can't be remade today.
That could be fun.
Could be. I mean, maybe if it was like a direct streaming service, like definitely not Disney Plus.
Oh no, Disney Plus. It'll be in the kids section.
Oh, and it'll be animated.
Oh, anime.
Well, I mean, speaking of animations and things that shouldn't be remade or even see the light of day, but the Song of the South still has weird edited releases. It's not on Disney Plus though.
Yes, it does.
I think if you were able to find an original release copy, it is worth some change.
That's right. Like, Disney Plus actually has a lot of those movies. Just for warning, I don't think Song of the South's on.
It is not. It is not. I actually checked that when I signed up for it.
Okay, I haven't checked.
Pure curiosity.
Recently, but yeah,
that'd
be insane.
I mean, I watched Dumbo, and it did give me a disclaimer at the beginning.
Oh God, isn't the main crow in that actually named Jim?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's voiced by a white guy who did that shtick as them.
White guys doing black voices. It's timeless.
Yeah. Like, rewatching, I was just going, oh God, oh, no. No.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on you, Disney.
Yeah.
But it's not the first time Disney's ever done that.
No, Disney would never do that. I don't know what you're talking about.
They wouldn't make, wouldn't make Asian Siamese cats.
No! Oh my God, do you imagine how racist that would be? That'd be so insane.
They certainly wouldn't sing a song about it either.
Oh God. We are Siamese if we please? That just came off the top of my head. That's not an actual song that Disney
No, not at all. That is not a part of the Walt Disney Corporation in any way.
Yeah.
It's Pixar.
Oh wait, I got a copyright notice now. What's going on?
It's Eisner ruining the company.
We aren't claiming this, but we're going to take money from you.
Yeah, we would love to take $70 a year from followers.
Duh. I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job, but I'm miles away from that right now. So any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.